What's going on, everybody? It's Matt Faircloth. Welcome to today's live session. Now, you guys have probably been watching the Mentorship Monday program we've been doing here on the Derosa group page for years. We've been doing it we have several hundred Mentorship Monday episodes, and we decided that we've gotten a lot of inquiries from people, and we want to help more people, and we want to do it in a live fashion that people can contribute to and be a part of and everything like that. And it's just cool to hear people ask questions live because there's follow-up questions and there's just conversation. And me just responding one way to you guys' email questions is one thing, and it's been phenomenal. And I thank you guys that have sent in questions to help me at derosagroup.com. Let's bring in our first guest. Justin, who we got?
All right, we have Jason Martins. Jason, welcome, man. Can we hear you?
Jason, welcome.
Yeah, hey,
man.
how you guys doing?
What's going on, Jason?
My question relates to mortgages. It's about rental property and whether or not to hold a property with a mortgage or to not have a mortgage. I mean, there's two different ways to look at it. But if I buy a property with all cash, right? No lens, I pay cash, I rehab the property in cash. Mm-hmm. So now I've got the whole property with no debt on it, and I've paid for the rehab. It's rented. It's getting top of the market rent. Should I refinance that property and take that money back out so I can do another deal, or do I leave it debt free and maximize my monthly cash flow? Because that's where the issue comes in is, okay, do I refinance, pull my money back out so I can do another deal, but then my monthly cash flow is less because now I got debt to service? Or do I maximize it but I can do fewer deals if I got all my cash tied up in
you got your money back out. Right.
What do you think about that?
Well, okay, so there is a relationship between borrowing money and you could get over leveraged on property, and there's a people don't correlate these two, but it's true. Debt and risk are directly correlated, right? So you're thinking like, hey man, I could go all cash, pretty much zero risk, and the only reason why anybody would ever go all cash on a deal is to avoid risk. The thing is that there is a happy medium. Now you could just go, some people say, well, I just want to go no money down and lever the whole thing all the way up and go borrow hard money to buy it and hard money to renovate it and everything like that. That's like the higher risk option because there's a lot of things that could happen to the market that would pull you down. So you buy the property for 100, you put 30 into it, borrowing all 130 grand, which a lot of people do that. We haven't gotten into your goals or anything like that and where you want to go, but I do believe that if it were me, I would borrow a reasonable amount of money to buy the property and renovate it and all that. So I probably wouldn't go, even if I had the cash, I wouldn't go all cash in that scenario, simply because I don't want to put all my cash at risk. Your lender kind of becomes your partner on the deal because they're on the hook with you, right? They got 50 grand in and you got 50 grand in, whatever it is. And you're probably gonna be able to negotiate cheap enough money that it might make sense to borrow some money on the acquisition and on the rehab. Now, you could easily talk me out of that because you're probably going to have to pay higher interest rates. But by all means, once you're done that work, whether you do it all with your cash or with all or with some debt blended in, you absolutely should refinance it. And the reason on that is money is so cheap right now.
Right. But I can scale and buy more property if I refi.
I'd like to challenge you, Jason, to
Justin's going to the same place I was going to go, but go ahead.
Run the numbers on that. Because I bet that if you actually write it down using an Excel sheet or the BiggerPockets calculator, you're limiting yourself, right? Even if you took half the money, right? Take half of that money out, do 50% leverage on that property. What could you do with the other half of that money? You could put it into the next property. You will find more times than not that the cash flow from the two properties, even though you have mortgages on them, is going to greatly outpace the cash flow from the one property that's fully paid off because you're using leverage.
As a business owner, debt is good. As a home owner, debt is bad, right? Kiyosaki says that, right? There's good debt, bad debt. The debt on your rental property is good debt. The debt on your home is bad debt. So yes, no debt on your home, no debt on your car, no debt on all that kind of stuff, no credit card debt, all that jazz. But it's okay to have business debt because business debt's going to allow you to lever up and do more deals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Off to a great start, Matt.
My question is more centered around the private investors that we use. How can I offer security to multiple private investors on the same project? And is it possible to have more than one person on a single mortgage filed against the property? Or is it possible to, say, file multiple mortgages from individual private lenders on a single property?
Are you looking to do all debt, or are you giving anybody equity on the, are you giving anybody upside, or are you borrowing all the money from investors?
So right now we just started investing last summer. So we haven't even been doing it a year yet. We're on project 4 right now. So right now we're sticking with the short-term notes just to try to help us grow our portfolio. But we're starting to get some interest from a few higher level investors that want to throw some more money at it. So we will consider doing equity in the future. But right now it's more just for the short-term projects, especially on flips and stuff like that. If we want to obviously offer them some higher level of security, like an actual mortgage against the property, how can we do that for multiple? We've had some investors express interest in that level. I've tried like personal guarantees too, because some of them are a little less value wise. But
first of all,
go ahead, sorry.
A few things. If you guys aren't willing to personally guarantee your loans, then something's wrong, right? If you're not willing to put your own livelihood, and I've had people like, oh, and again, Justin and I do some big deals, like $7-8 million deals and stuff like that. You know, that might make you not sleep at night too well if you got a personal guarantee out there, but you got to be able to do whatever it takes. And so I would question somebody not willing to personally guarantee a loan with an investor, because at the end of the day, like, well, you got to put your livelihood on the line, put your money where your mouth is, right? That's number one. Now, because you're not looking to do equity, to give these folks equity, and you're keeping it simple, because in the book I talk about how to structure equity, but equity is like even next level, right? So you can do that. You can do it with JV. That's not what we're talking about today, but that's there and that's possible. Now, what is easy to do with what you're talking about is to give each investor, or a lender, each lender a lien on the property. So you have a first position lien, second position lien, third position lien, fourth position lien. And as long as the property is going to be worth this, and the loans add up to way less than this at the future value, then they're protected through their collateral that you're giving them, right? So let's just say the property's worth $500,000 when it's done, and each lender there's 3 lenders and they get $100,000 lien a piece, so it totals up to $300,000. The property's worth 5. They're covered. Maybe you can do what's called cross collateralization. So if you own a property over here that you're buying property A, and you're going to renovate it, but you already own property B, giving them a mortgage on property A that you're buying, but also a backup mortgage called cross collateralizing it with another property that has a little bit of equity in it too, right? Now, you do not want to compartmentalize all your lenders into one loan, because what you'd have to do there is just put all your lenders into one LLC, and that LLC would then have to loan you the money. You just did a syndication. Right? That's a syndication that has to get filed with the SEC. That's a big bucket full of legal fees and everything like that. And there's no reason to do that if you're just borrowing money in debt, right? And that. So I don't see why you wouldn't just do it that way. Give them first, second, third. They might get skittish about the last positions, but you just got to turn that around and just say, listen, I'm giving you guys plenty of collateral in the property in the deal we're doing, and I'm going to give you liens on other places if you want it, and I'm also going to give you a personal guarantee. You've been doing this for long enough, and you get debt leverage. So can try this on the next deal that you do. Let's just say a scenario you just gave me, you come up on again. $65,000 to buy, $25,000 to reno, right? Now, I am assuming that carrying costs are in those numbers. And if they're not, it's okay. But things like insurance, the monthly payment you got to pay them, you kind of factor that into your loan amount or your project.
With a little, a 10% cushion on the rehab too.
Project cost. Okay. Right. So $65,000 buy price. Go to one person to borrow 30, the next person borrow 35. Okay. That's your first and your second position lien. Okay. Take that, put it over here. Then you got a third position lien that they're going to loan you $25,000, but they're not going to give it to you at closing. The reason why they're not going to do that is, number one, it gives them more collateral because they have a mortgage on your property and they didn't give you the money yet, right? Okay. They're holding that money. You're going to take your cash and you're going to go and do $10,000 worth of work. You're either going to prove it to them in person and have them walk the property so you can show them what you did. Okay. And say, look, I did the plumbing, I did the demo, I did this, I did that. Or you're going to take your handy dandy cell phone and you're going to shoot a video of them for them and send it to them. By the way, that is how my YouTube channel got started. I started shooting videos for people They're like, hey, look, here's the kitchen. Here's this. Here's where your money is. And I sent it over to them, and then people started commenting on the video. But anyway, prove to them the work that you did. You advanced $10,000 worth of work out of your own pocket. Then they advance you 10 grand for the work that you've already done. So their collateral's there. You technically added 10 grand worth of value. They give you that loan to recompensate you for the work you've done. You go lay out another 10 or another 15 out of your own pocket, and then the property gets renovated, and they have very low risk. Okay, it's called construction draws. I talk about it in the book, but that is how you structure it. Exactly what I just said right there. Okay.
So you just front the cost and have the investor fill in on the back end.
You front it, then they fill you back. You front it, and they fill you back. Almost every bank that lends on construction does it that way.
Practice beforehand how the pros and cons, and try to anticipate what they're going to be concerned about, and have those answers ready, and be ready to explain them on that. And it's not even going to be an issue for them.
Basically, the question that I had is, I'm a realtor here in New Jersey with eXp Realty. And, with COVID-19, a lot of things are changing right now. So my question was, what steps would you recommend that a new less than 6 months realtor take to grow during these challenging times, given that the new realtor may not have a brand or a client base or the experience?
Play into the change. Okay. Be the guy that's doing the virtual showings. Okay. Be the guy that's doing the virtual tours. I'll let Justin tell you a bit about it because he was the mastermind of this one. But Justin designed a system that has us, like, our occupancy rate at all of our apartment buildings have all gone way up during COVID. And Justin came up with a way to do that. Because you're so new to the market, you don't have this way that you're used to doing things that's over here, and now you got to change your model to do it differently. You can reboot yourself and invent a Malcolm Tiers that was always designed to work during COVID, right? People want hands-off showings. People want to not have to get in their car and go out to a property to either lease it or look at it.
Right now I have 14 buyers that I'm working with. Yeah. Some are investors. So I actually have three people from Brooklyn that are coming down to Mercer County trying to buy property. So
great.
Here's your idea. And this is a freebie from Matt. I'm going to make you a millionaire right here, buddy. Right. Okay. Get your buyer's criteria set from your Brooklyn people. Okay. From all your people, not your Brooklyn people. Maybe make them fill out a Google Doc or something like that on what their buying criteria are. Get really, really deep down. Cash flow. How many of your resources? How many units? Are you bankable? And get them to prove it to you. Show me you're bankable. Right. Okay, cool. Get their buying criteria flat, and then go find a couple of properties that meet their buying criteria and call the showing agent and say, listen, I got these guys coming from out of town, and I want you guys to sign off and give me the right to do a video shoot at your property. Because it's not your property. The seller has to sign it and say, yes, I acknowledge Malcolm Tiers can go and do a video shoot at my property. Then once they sign it, it's just super basic, right? Just for right now, you might not want to put it out live to the whole world, right? Because it's the showing agent's listing. But for now, don't want to do that. But eventually you work that into where you start broadcasting other people's properties on your cell phone, to your Facebook followers and your YouTube followers and everything like that, just like we're doing here on StreamYard, right? But for now, just go and record a live session or just a Google Hangout or whatever, and give your investors a tour of the property without them having to get in the car and drive all the way down here to go look at a property. Show it to them. Hey, here's this duplex. I love it. Here's what I like about it, and here's what I don't like about it, because it's not your listing, so you can be a little more straight with them, might need to fix that roof, not sure if that tenant paid the rent, everything like that, you could be their eyes and ears. And the more you can do that using today's tech, the more you're going to make it sale.
It's interesting you say that because one of my fellow EXP agents up in Canada, he did that with a lot of success. So there's kind of like a little gray area, but you got to get that. I didn't know how to get around it. And I think just getting that signature
from a piece of
listing
paper
agent is how you get around it. Yeah.
Make it crazy easy. Send it to them using DocuSign. And it's like a 3-sentence thing that just says, hey, listen, I'm going to shoot this video. For right now, I'm going to send it to my people. The video becomes my content, but I'm not going to send it to anybody else aside from anybody that wants to buy a property from me. Bottom line, play into the COVID thing. Find out what people want and how the world's changed. Because what I find is that there's a lot of people that are slow to react right now because of COVID, that are just waiting. They think the world's going to go back to the way that it was next week. It's not. We might go back to work, but things are not going to go back to normal anytime soon. So you got to discover the new normal and play into it. Justin, you want to add to it?
Yeah, listen, if I'm selling my house, my personal house here, I don't want like people tramping through with dirt on their shoes and sneezing on my house and like, who knows, right? Like that is a very real thing that I might be concerned about for 12 months or more, right? So how do you use tech to ease my concerns as a seller about people coming in? And same thing as a buyer, right? If I'm a buyer, do I want to walk through, a dozen different houses where I don't know, touching the door handles and this and that? I mean, so leaning into it, embracing the tech, like Matt's saying, you can get pretty far along. We're leasing all of our units without people even walking through the houses because we use our phones. Our leasing agents use our phones and take some really, really great videos. You could do 360 videos using your phone. You can do live walkthroughs. You can do pre-made video walkthroughs. You can take a handful of photos, create a slideshow that's got like all the selling features on it, put some nice upbeat music behind it using free apps, right? And now you've got an awesome marketing piece that shows off this property. You could put, if it's a rental investment property, put the highlights. It's going to rent for this. Your profit's going to be that, this cap rate, whatever. Turn it into a little video, put some dollars behind it on Facebook.
To the people you're walking through either their home or their tenant or a tenant's unit or something like that, wear a mask, wear gloves, wear booties on your feet.
Your value, the way you're different to that seller is you're going to do one walkthrough, and that walkthrough is going to get, in front of 5 buyers or 3 buyers.
They're going to remember you.
You don't have to be bringing people through. You just got to go through once. You're respectful. And now you got the information you need to give it out to everyone else.
Justin, final thoughts. Take us home.
If you want to get into Insiders for free for a month, ask a great question. Come on here, and you'll get in for free. I mean, what better way is there in? And you get to promote yourself in front of 22,000 YouTube subscribers. So that's pretty awesome too.
Absolutely.
So,
help me at DerosaGroup.com is where you want to send it. Send a text message to the word Derosa to 66866. And you can get a big basket of goodies that I put together for you. Lots of videos and stuff that's not available online. You can't get it on YouTube channel. You can't get it on Bigger Pockets. It's only available by texting us at 66866. And there's also a coupon code in there to join Insiders as well too. So that's what we got, guys. Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be here or be square. We will be here next week with more Mentorship Monday live, and we hope to be answering your question. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great and profitable week.